What's up, guys? Welcome to another show, man. Week 3 is the third time go around doing this, man, with my guy Dave Cokin, man. Third or fourth, but however, we're always trying to get some cash every single day, man. College football legend, betting legend, Dave Cokin. What's up, Smoking Cokin? Everything cool with you?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a busy weekend. I got 8 games that I played in college for various amounts and 4 in the NFL as well. So that's a lot for me. I'm not generally a high volume guy, but I like a lot of games this week and hit submit on several games. So we'll see how they go.
Let's see how it goes, man. I'm trying to get some cash right there with you. It's a lot to like this weekend. That's one thing I always say about football, Dave. There's a ton of games, and get to go through the cards. Like, hey, I like a lot, man. I like a lot, but we're always super selective. We're always trying to get some cash as well and smack those bookies up, Dave. Let's get straight into business here. We have Florida State land 3 points. This line did open up at 2.5. Now it's at 3. Now up to 3 versus Louisville here. Some money coming in on them this morning, Dave. On this Louisville side, do you agree with it? And a total of 57 as well on this Friday night game.
I'm not sure what to do with this game. I'm not convinced that Florida State is anything more than a little better than average. I thought they were a little bit lucky against LSU.
Mm-hmm.
Louisville's off a good win, but I'm not sure how much of that was Louisville as opposed to how much of it was Central Florida playing really bad football in the second half of that game. So I'm kind of looking at this as maybe a game where I can get a better gauge on both teams. If I had to play it, I think I'd take Florida State. I think they're a little superior athletically. But this is one where I didn't really have a strong opinion. How about you?
Yeah, so sorry guys. This line did actually open up at pick, so it was up to it was bet up to 2.5. Now this morning, it saw threes popping across the board. Right now, it's getting hit. Louisville money is coming in. I'm seeing the Wager Talk odds screen light up. It's going back down to 2.5. So still some threes out there, but at the sharper books, literally every sharp book just went down to 2.5, guys. So I'm not saying that it's the right side, but me personally, I'd be looking at Florida State here. Now, this is Mike Norvell's third year facing the Louisville Cardinals. He's lost the previous 2, right? So, in theory, the way that I like to look in games, I'd like to say that he has double revenge and get it done. Jordan Travis does look a lot better this year, but
yep.
You got a good point there, Dave. I'm watching the LSU game. LSU was trash in that game, and they still could have won the game. So that's troubling there. Louisville, though, somewhat like a one-man show, in my opinion. Malik Cunningham, he's basically trying to run the ball every single play. If his first read's not there, I don't think he's that good of a quarterback, man. As far as like throwing, he's a good dual threat. Maybe just like Richardson, we were just talking about for the show, Cokin. But what do you think about Malik Cunningham? Do you think he has upside?
Limited. I mean, I think he'll be in a training camp next year, but I don't think he's the guy who's going to be playing in the NFL. He's the type of guy who actually could thrive in that wide field in Canada. Okay. Maybe that's where his future lies. We'll see.
They can make a lot of sense there. They can make a lot, maybe third string NFL quarterback or something, man. But yeah, for tonight, I know my guy Shark. He talked me into Florida State as well. This line is all over Florida State as well, according to past year's games. So the odds makers here expecting the Florida State to finally get over that Louisville hump tonight, with them being favored in Louisville, and the money's coming to it. So I'll be honest, I put a little something on Florida State minus the 2.5 a few days ago. So that's what I'm needing. If up to 3, obviously, maybe wait. It's going down to 2.5, so maybe wait. So I don't know if I'd lay the 3 with Florida State, not when the 2.5. It opened at pick and 2.5s out there basically all day yesterday. Or shop at books, man. Shop around at different books. Make sure you're getting the best line. Look at that Wager Talk odds screen, my guys. What do you say, Dave? Let's go over here to the streets of Syracuse here. You have them land. This line open up at a pick. Now Syracuse is laying 1.5 points here. I'm not so sure. I don't know, Dave. The Orange are starting to get a lot of love here. Obviously, they smacked up Louisville in the Dome in week 1. They were an underdog, basically touchdown underdog in that game. So what do you think? Is Syracuse back? Are they the real deal this year?
They're improved. And Schrader's a really good dual threat quarterback. But this is one where I think I trust the odds makers more than the betting market.
Mm-hmm.
Circa, which I think is a very sharp book, they opened Purdue 3 last Sunday.
Damn.
And it swung all the way around to Syracuse being favored now. The interesting thing is my number that I made was also Purdue 3. So it's gotten to the point now where rather than analyze the game, I'm strictly going to go against the market here because they've created a situation where I've got value now on the Boilermakers. They shouldn't, on my numbers, they shouldn't be the underdog. And again, it's not just my numbers. The odds makers at Circa, and again, I think they're as sharp as it gets.
Mm-hmm.
They also made Purdue the favorite. I have a tendency when the market swings way away from the odds makers, I'll go with the odds makers. So I like Purdue here.
That's a good point there, Dave. My guy Shark, if people on the channel know him as well, he talks about the same thing. We're not smarter than the guys in Vegas, right? Or than their algorithms. You can really use their lines against them. That's exactly what Dave is talking about here. You notice the sharper books, right? Which Circa is one of them. Circa, Westgate, Bookmaker. Some of these books, you kind of just look at the discrepancy in their lines or how they're grading them as well. We don't think they would have Circa wouldn't thrown out a Purdue -3, giving out free money on that Syracuse, you know what I'm saying, plus the 3 at money line. So I really love what you said there, Dave. It's really using the odds makers against themselves, really, if that makes sense to the people in the chat, Dave.
Yeah, look, they don't get them all right.
Right.
So I'm not saying, I'm not going to be shocked if Syracuse wins here. They've been impressive so far.
Mm-hmm.
But if my number is the same number as the Circa number, and Circa's out there first in Las Vegas, and then the market's giving me basically a 4.5 point value, I'm going to generally go ahead and take that.
Yeah, that's a good point there, man. We're not smarter than the books there, man. So let's, you know what I'm saying? I really like what you're saying there, Dave. And I like Purdue as well, man. I'm not so sure with all. I know they're at the house, the dome is rocking, but it could be maybe a coaching mismatch here, Brom, in favor for the Purdue side, in my opinion, man. So let's see if that Syracuse offense can get going and defense can keep it going as well. We know they held Louisville to 7 points. So let's see what happens in that one.
Yeah, it should be one of the best games on the card.
Mm-hmm.
I think the teams are it's a very close matchup. And I'm going to watch the game because I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it as well, man. Learn some stuff, man. To see how I know it's gonna be rocking in the dome over there today. Let's go to another game, man. Oh boy, man, we got Notre Dame here laying 10.5 points versus California, guys. Everybody's talking about they hired the wrong coach. Notre Dame sucks this year. Now you got California. Then they're going cross country here. Versus most likely a pissed off Notre Dame team. It's coming up to last time I did a show it was 10.5. It's still 10.5 out there to win bet, but starting to move up to 11s, 11.5, 12.5 at Bookmaker, Dave, one of the more sharper books. So they got some line discrepancy here. I feel like the Notre Dame probably going to be a contrarian fave here, Dave. What do you think?
Well, let's talk about Notre Dame first. They played a great first half against Ohio State, got overrun in the second half. They weren't good last week against Marshall, but it was kind of a dead spot and a little misleading from this standpoint. I mean, they had 2 turnovers in the red zone. They also they gave up a pick 6 as well. So it was a good day for Marshall. Let's put it that way. The thing about this game is they were favored by almost 3 touchdowns against Marshall. I will tell you, Marshall's better than California. Okay. And now they're laying a lot less against the Golden Bears because the perception is, Notre Dame can't play. Okay. And they did lose their quarterback. I don't think there's that much of a drop off at QB because I don't think the QB1 was that much better than the QB2. It's a position that's going to be a problem for them all season. And against good defenses, they could have some trouble. Cal was not impressive last week in getting by. It's UNLV, okay? I mean, I know UNLV is a little better than they've been, but It's still UNLV. So that wasn't a great win. The main thing here, though, it's just the value. If you're going to have Notre Dame 20 or thereabouts against Marshall, I don't care about the result. The line was in the 20 range, and now it's 11 against what is probably a lesser team. And Notre Dame should be fresh and motivated coming out of a bad game. You know they don't want to go 0-3 because the season's about over if that happens. I think the Irish on the right side here. Now, the danger is that the offense can't score enough to cover double figures. But I'll take my chances here. I think this line's short.
Yeah, and if the defense comes to play, Dave, as well, do the Golden Bears have enough offense to keep in this one as well? We look at it as well. This is a super early game for California as well. West Coast team moving over there to 1:30. I know that they had all week to prepare for it, but still, body clock is a little bit different. I really like it. It feels like 11 a.m. start. That'll be lovely there. But regardless, here you do have 2-0 versus 0-2. It's basically a must-win spot for Notre Dame and the coach as well. With everybody talking mess about, wondering if he's the right decision. Likely could see a late touchdown here. You probably won't see them let up off the gas in this game as well. They need a blowout, confidence boost, and win. I think they might get it here. And you make a good point. That line had got up to 21 and a half. We were on Marshall in that game. Didn't think they win outright, but I can see a huge bounce back from Notre Dame as well. Actually, back at the house as well. What do you think about this?
I have Marshall 4 points better than Cal on a neutral field. So to me, it's just a value bet, and I'm happy, and substantial value at that. So I think Notre Dame's a good play this weekend.
Hey, I like it, Ben. I like it. Let's catch Notre Dame by 3 touchdowns, my guys. Nobody likes it, but
I'll take them by 2.
We'll take them by 2. We will. I think they get there, but I think they're gonna try to make, because you know how it is, Dave. Sometimes you really get that confidence brewing. It's like, all right, we break out what if the offense breaks out with the new quarterback? You never know, man. I know they're gonna be pissed off all week.
What I want to see is the defense come to play, and that's Marcus Freeman's strength. He's a defensive coach. And I want to see them shut down California. If they do that, they should be able to score enough points to win.
Yeah, they only scored 20 versus UNLV. I might have to check out that team total, because before I take the under, I'd be looking at California team total under in that one, guys. Somebody in the chat, man, bring it up for me real quick. We can go to the next game, but California team total under, whether Notre Dame cover or not, that's a cash right there, man. I like that play. Dave, let's go down here to Florida, to the swamp real quick. Florida's laying 24.5 points. They are coming off that loss versus Kentucky. Have Tennessee on deck here. Now they're laying 24.5. Man, this South Florida team, everybody talking about all the transfers and transfer portal and all this return production, and they hadn't been able to tell for the first couple of games, Dave. But I must say here, I know Florida's come off that loss, but I don't know if I could trust them to cover this game by more than 3 touchdowns. I think they could probably win by 21 and be happy and get ready for next week. I'm leaning South Florida here, Dave.
Well, the South Florida coach he's on the hot seat because they made a big deal about all the transfers they brought in, which for a non-Power 5 program, they did really well. But it hasn't translated to impressive performances so far. So they need to get going. Now, this isn't a great spot to do it because Florida's obviously got a lot better talent. But I guess you could call it the Super Bowl for South Florida because they get to play the big brother here. And they're going to compete in this game. So I don't think I don't want to lay that number with Florida. The Gators should be better than they were against Kentucky. I think this would have been a great spot for South Florida if Florida had beaten Kentucky. They didn't. So that should mean the coach has their attention this week in practice. But I still think the number's a little bit on the high side.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you there. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find this California team total, man. I'm taking that shit, man. I'm taking that California team total under. The defense is the main thing that needs to bounce back, man. When these books don't have, I'll get it up. I'm going official with that California team total under I like that play. But on this one, I think South Florida, this is a Super Bowl type of game for them, Dave. Whether they're trash or not, whether the coach is on the hot seat or not, and even if they care to play for them, they're going to get up for this one. Probably have some high school players, you know what I'm saying, going up against each other. There's probably a lot of talk here. So while Florida are the big favorite here and they're going to win the game, they're laying too many points in this spot for me, in my opinion. Could they win the game by 35-0? They could, but I'm willing to go with the spot here. I say coming off a loss versus Kentucky, big game coming up on deck, but do they really just want to blow out South Florida? Like I say, 21-point win for Florida for me. That's how I'm looking at it. Give me South Florida plus all those points, plus the 24.5 to keep this game close. I don't think Florida has the offense that BYU had to really smack them up, in my opinion. So let's see what happens. Turn Richardson into a passing quarterback, and you definitely keep this shit within 21. Let's go over here to the streets of App State real quick, Dave. Huge upset last week. Is Troy good enough for us to fade App State in this trap spot, the possible letdown spot?
It is a letdown spot. I mean, they were off two huge games. The game with North Carolina that they arguably should have won, and a great win last week. I don't know what's going to be left in the tank for Troy. Troy hasn't shown anything so far. Their offense has been really bad. So that's the worry that keeps me out of the game. I think the price is about where it should be. But from a spot perspective, I can only play Troy.
Yeah, no, that's facts right there. Obviously, you need them to score though to cover this. That's one thing about App State. Now, I don't think their defense was too stellar. Obviously, it was good versus Texas A&M. I think that was more on Texas A&M's offense, but we've seen App State defense be very leaky. In my opinion, they do it. What do you think? Do you think that, just real quick on this one, do you think that App State's defense and it being added with a letdown spot, do you think that Troy's offense could look a little bit better this weekend?
Well, it has to. I mean, they have no running game. That's the problem. I don't like teams that can't run the ball. Right. And that keeps me away from Troy. They just have shown nothing on the ground so far. And it's just they have the profile of a team I don't like to bet on.
That makes sense. That's why I'm asking you, man. And that's why I'm asking you. I appreciate it. I hadn't bet Troy yet, but I can tell you this. That's definitely a situational spot. Actually wouldn't be a bit surprised to see App State get upset, man. These are kids. I always say when they come off a huge win and they go back to campus, everybody's like literally patting them on the back. They're probably partying. I really love it, Dave. I'm sure you know this too. When a team, like say if they were at home and they rush the field, I faith that every single time, and I'm telling you that shit cashes like at an 80% clip, man. College basketball, college football, when they rush the field or the court, you faith that team next week. It's gonna work wonders for you guys. But it's Troy or nothing for me in this one. I could really see a down game from App State, where they like could be down and have to come back and win the game. Let's see here. Let's talk about some football here. I want to do one more college football game, but what do you say, Dave? One more college football?
As many as you want.
One more, man. I am kind of scratching my head at this one, Dave. Is Northern Illinois good? I know Vandy is the worst team in the SEC. Had a really good week one versus a terrible Hawaii team, but what do you think, man? Is Northern Illinois? I know they always had a really good defense and run game here, right, Dave? Should they deserve to be laying the 2.5 here versus Vandy?
Yeah, I kind of think they do. I thought I probably should have bet this on the open because Vandy opened the favorite. Vandy can't play. And they're as good as Northern Illinois, but the spot says Northern Illinois to me. And this is a big game for NIU because they're hosting an SEC team. That doesn't happen very often. So I like that, and I think they're as good as Vanderbilt. So with a home field advantage, I don't know how much. I'm not giving Vanderbilt any credit for the Hawaii game because Hawaii is just really bad. And their other win was against Elon, which is an FCS team. I think you got to get a lot of points in this game. Vandy's offense isn't the worst. Their defense is really bad. And NIU looks like they might be better offensively than defensively. So I think you've got an entertaining game. Lean Northern Illinois, lean over, but didn't bet either one.
Man, that Vandy, it's crazy because Vandy's usually had a terrible offense and a really good defense. So it seemed like they kind of flipped. I know they used to have them really good cornerbacks in secondary. Their offense was just absolutely horrible, but they do have Alabama on deck. Northern Illinois has a game in Kentucky on deck. Um, I lean Vanderbilt
I can
there
tell you
plus the
one thing:
points.
Vanderbilt's not looking ahead to Alabama.
Yeah, well, they finna get
They probably
smacked
don't even want to play that
60-0.
game.
Yeah,
They probably don't
exactly.
even want to play that game.
Yeah, they probably like, oh, we would rather play Alabama or Northern Illinois.
Yeah.
It's probably unpopular, but I actually think Vanderbilt is gonna win that game. That's just me. I got a feeling that Vanderbilt gonna come to play. They know they're getting smacked 60-3 next week, but
Yeah.
I do a lean on Vanderbilt and now it's just the way I'm looking. I had to ask you though first, Dave, but let's go. Let's talk about one NFL game in Sunday night NFL, man. Probably gonna be a bit of a chaser game, but you got the Packers here, Dave, that's absolutely owned the Bears. Basically, I mean, he's even said it. I own the Bears. This is one of the worst Bears teams they've had in a while, and they're coming off of so you get the 1-0 versus 0-1 complacency versus pissed offness. We know the Packers are going to be pissed off. I'd like to see them at least get Lazard back. They got three main injuries over there. They at least need 2 or 3. I know Lazard and one of the I believe offensive linemen. I believe, but regards to that, two offensive linemen. Exactly. I need all 3 of them back, but only way I could look at this game, DC, is a smack city spot for the Packers, letdown spot for the Bears as well.
I don't think I'll disagree vehemently that it's a letdown spot. Okay, this is a rivalry.
Yeah.
They're not. There's no chance the Bears are going to have a letdown, but the Bears are not good. And the win last week was a fluke. I mean, Fields had a great ad lib on a play. I don't know what happened to the 49ers coverage in that play, and the 49ers did not play well in the rain. But Chicago's an awful team. The defense is maybe okay. The offense is, I think, very possibly the worst in the league. So you've got the Bears coming up a fluky win. The Packers coming off another bad week 1 loss, but that doesn't mean much. What I would be concerned about is the injury situation on the Packers offense, the offensive line and the wide receiver situation. But you still can't ignore these numbers. Aaron Rodgers, the last 8 years against the Bears, has 40 touchdown passes and 2 interceptions. He owns this team. The Packers have been money off a loss since LaFleur took over. And this is a week where you don't want to be in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. I think Green Bay has enough to win this by double figures. I'm laying the points. I know it's, a popular Sunday public side, Sunday night standalone game. The books will be rooting for the Bears in this game, but I'm going to be on the public side here. I'll be on the Packers.
I don't know, Dave. I don't know if everybody, because I think a lot of people overreact to week 1. They saw the Bears win. We looked at because the public probably on the Packers in week 1, and they got smashed. We were on the Vikings pretty heavy there, but they're going to say, oh, the Packers suck. We can't be laying 10 with them. It could actually work out to be a contrarian fave. Obviously, we don't know you. You don't think so?
No. The overwhelming percentage of tickets in this game will be on the Packers. They're going to write probably 70% of the tickets, maybe more. Guaranteed.
Okay.
Guaranteed. The public will not be on Chicago in this game.
Well, hey, I'm not a fan of. Hey, I think the Bears might get smashed in this one. This is another one.
That's what I'm hoping
for. Bears team total under in this one, my guys. That's what I'm saying. What you think?
I think this weekend could be chalky. A lot of dogs in week 1. That has a tendency to reverse itself. Although the dogs are 1-0 with the backdoor cover by the Chargers last night. By the way, if you've got stock in DirecTV, I might want to just dump that right now because the Amazon thing is going to work out pretty well.
Yeah. I didn't get a chance to catch the game as I was driving home from the casino. Was it a good game? How did the Amazon Prime work out? Because it seems like that's the only place you can watch Thursday Night Football on,
and
right?
The thing is, because it's a stream,
behind.
You don't switch off during commercials.
Yeah.
If you're watching regular TV, all right, let's flip over to this game while this game's in a commercial break. Not going to do that with the stream because then you got to restream the whole thing.
Right.
I thought the coverage was very good, and great job by the Amazon camera crew, or whoever the camera crew was, because they showed the key play in the game was the pick six that went the length of the field. They showed Everett, who he caught 2 plays in a row. He caught the last two plays, 7 yards and 26 yards. He's exhausted. He wants to get off the field.
Right.
And they ran a fast break offensive play to him. And they showed him trying to get off the field. That was a huge breakdown in communications by the Chargers, and it probably cost them the football game.
Coaching, man. That goes back on coaching.
That is on the coaching.
Good God. Herbert, I'm always saying, man, the QB is the coach out there on the field, though. Herbert got to see that shit, too, though.
He should have seen it, too.
And then you try to pass it to him. You should know. I just ran the past few plays to him. That's common sense.
You know, the nice thing is, it doesn't matter whether in San Diego or Los Angeles. It's the same. The Chargers have the same DNA every year. There's not a team in the league that finds ways to blow games more than the Chargers do. And
I like the Chargers.
I mean, this is a quality roster. It's one of the best rosters in the league. And it was last year, too. They managed to screw up and not make the playoffs last year, and I wouldn't be shocked if the same thing happens this year. They're a playoff team on paper, and they find ways to lose games, and they did it again last night.
I think the Chargers don't go on a run. I feel like if there was any other team than the Chiefs, they smack them up last night, man. I didn't have to. I watched a little bit of, but I couldn't see just like the whole game or whatever. And then you're right. The NFL Sunday Ticket app, it's blacked out on there. I don't know what they're doing there, man. But regardless of that, Dave, let's get out of here, man. I always love talking with you, man. Any other games you'd like to talk? Any other NFL side you want to talk about, or it's up to you, my brother. Anything else you want to say to the people?
All I'd say is you might want to look at the big favorites. Don't get scared away this weekend. I think they might have a good weekend. And I'll just throw a quick plug in. I mean, this is a lot of games for me. I'm not a high volume guy, but I've got 8 colleges and 4 NFL. So if you get a weekend pass at Wager Talk, that's their most popular product anyway. You get all the plays at one price, and hopefully it's a good weekend.
Yeah, I know it's gonna be a good weekend, man. Dave is that guy. Dave is the man over there, man. Let's get to some free picks now, my guys, or whatever you're liking on the board tonight. It could be for tonight, it could be for this weekend, Dave. Whatever you like, and let the people know what you already let them know what you got going. He has 8 college football plays over there and 4 NFL. Anything you like on tonight's card, or just a free play for this
I'm not playing tonight. But one of the games I do like, it is one of my selections this weekend. Game we talked about, and I think it's a really good play, is Notre Dame. 11's cheap, okay, and the 11's not going to be out there for long. Okay, it's going to go up because the sharper bets are going to come in on Notre Dame in this game. So I would go with the Irish, play that one with some confidence, and expect to get paid.
Let's go to. I love this guy, man. Let's go. I like to hear that shit, man. He said play with confidence and expect to get paid, man. DC, man. I call him smoking Cokin. Let's get this cash, man. I'm already on Notre Dame -10.5. I'm adding. I'm taking Cal under their team total, man. Under 16. They're saying they got it at Bovada. I'm finna go and shop around, get the best line right after this show. But anywhere under it could be 14.5. I'll be taking under on Cal, and then same thing with the Bears as well. I'm gonna take the under on their team total as well, man. 2 bad offenses. It's probably gonna be a lower scoring game on both of those as well. But I think Notre Dame, if they could hold, didn't they hold Ohio State to 21 points?
Yeah,
right? With that 20. What the fuck are we say, bro? Wait, man. We're going to get this cash this weekend, Dave. I always appreciate you coming on with me, man. I love talking games with you. College, NFL, man. We love to do this, my guys. We appreciate everybody in the chat as well. Let's get some cash. You heard the man. We're on Notre Dame. I'm hopping on Cal team total under as well. For tonight, we're hopping on Florida State, man, -2.5. That's what I'm liking. Would like to lean to the under in Air Force and Wyoming game. Wyoming, they do have plenty of experience of defending the triple option. They do try to lean on their defense as well, and they're trying to improve every week. Dave, what you think about that?
One quick note, and I was talking about this on another show today. Air Force has a really good chance to win every game this year. They're the favorite to be the Group of 5 team. But what will be interesting is if Air Force can win all the games and win them impressively enough to maybe force an argument into them being one of the 4 playoff teams. I'm not suggesting that Air Force is one of the 4 best teams in the country. They're not. But this is a good Air Force team that has a really good chance to go unbeaten. And, those guys you can't be dumb and get into Air Force to begin with.
Right.
I mean, we know that going in. Everybody on the Air Force football team is probably smarter than I am and smarter than you are and smarter than most people. It's a great school. They know that if the more impressive their wins are, the more attention it's going to get them. So I'd be a little reluctant to bet against the Air Force while this unbeaten run continues. I think the number is too big tonight, but I'm not going against them.
Yeah, Air Force, a one-way train for me. I've actually already cashed 2 tickets with them already, Dave. My guy, Big Boss, he let me know some inside info that they're allowing their offensive and defensive linemen to be heavier, to pack on more pounds. Yep. So they got the big boys even bigger in the trenches, and it really matters with a running football team like them.
They've also got really good threats in the backfield. The quarterback, he's not a great thrower, but doesn't have to be in the Air Force program. Right. They've got the plow horse. They've always got a plow horse back there. And the other kid, whose name escapes me right now, is extremely fast. And he's going to turn the corner on those pitches and pick up some big yards. His name begins with an L. I can't remember. But he's a track star in addition to being a football star. And this is a really good Air Force team. And Calhoun isn't taking the Colorado job. Jesus. Why would he leave? Why would he leave Air Force? Air Force is one of the best jobs in the country.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm with you.
He's not going anywhere.
Sometimes you kind of just stay with what works with you. You see what I'm saying? You don't. I mean, the money, at some point, you just go ahead and get your money where you're at and keep winning. You don't want to go and try to get paid, but then you're stressing a whole lot more trying to turn the fucking program around.
Coach there for the rest of it until he wants to quit.
Right.
Whenever that is. I mean, and by the way, that option offense won't work at a lot of the bigger schools. So he's in the perfect location.
It makes sense. You got to know what you're good at, and stay there, my guys. So, I appreciate Dave dropping us off with all type of gems, guys. If you didn't know, man, this guy is a handicapping legend, college football, NFL, all the good golf, man, doing some baseball. Go check out Dave. Go get an all access pass from Dave. He has 12 plays this weekend, 4 NFL, 8 college. He probably has baseball plays as well, man. You might get 20 plays over there, man. Go check out Dave.
Not much baseball until the playoffs.
Okay, I appreciate you stopping me there. Smoking Cokin, man. This is the guy. Let's get some cash, man. It's Cash Notre Dame this weekend, and I'm on Florida State tonight with my guy Sharp. Let's get some cash, man. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hit the like button, subscribe, and we out, my guys. Let's take these bookies to Smack City.